Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone once again to A.O.S Abroad. Thank you very, very much for joining today. I really do appreciate you joining another wonderful session. A session where we are going to be discussing the online caregiver applications pilots. And for many of you that have been following the news, as at I'll say early today or late yesterday, the slots, the application slots for the caregiver program for 2025 for applications inside Canada has been full. So that means the slots, the number of people they want to actually invite, or the number of applications they want to allow, they want to accept for this year 2025 has been filled up. That means a lot of caregivers have been able to apply, and a lot of caregivers have, even those that even started applying. I saw one person's one consultant, one immigration consultant, what do you call it, social media, that even those that started applying but didn't quickly finish applying, they were not able to complete their application because a lot of people went on their what they call it, the application portal, and they applied quickly. A lot of people applied with their what, with their job offers, they applied with their language requirements, they applied with their work experience, you understand, they applied with their educational credentials. And basically for applications inside of Canada, which was the first one they started, you understand, they have exhausted the amount of what, the amount of slots that are needed to, you understand, apply as at 31st January. I say January, 31st March, because for those that are before, today is 1st of March, 1st of April. So as at yesterday, even before the end of yesterday, we have seen that it was already getting full. Like they were already saying that yes, one portal has been filled up already, the other portal will soon get filled. And it was like a race to that person or those people that would actually quickly apply and get selected. Do you understand? So if we look at the portal, the Canadian immigration website, the one that states for the home care workers, the caregivers, for those who are joining us, you know that we are always live on YouTube, we're on live on TikTok, we are live on Instagram. So going on YouTube, you can see the slides or the shared screen for the home care worker immigration pilots. For those that have been following us, this portal will state that, oh, start your application. It still says that the caregiver program is open, but it is not open for those that are applying online. And basically, many people will be applying online. Many people will be applying, especially workers in Canada that are practically working. You understand? They will be applying definitely online. And as what they stated here, they said the online portal or the online um, place where you'll be given opportunity to apply is now full. Is full. That means the quotas, the amount of people they need for home, what they call it, care worker immigration pilots, for the stream that relates to what, workers in Canada, and for the one that relates to child care. For child care, it is filled up already for the year 2025. So anybody that wants to apply afresh, you understand, will have to wait until 2026 to be able to apply. Likewise, the home support stream under the home child care, under that of the what, workers in Canada, who is already full as well. Is full for the year 2025. And what that just means is that anyone that wants to apply for the what, for the home support childcare program, the home support caregiver program, would have to wait until 2026 to apply. And now, when we were seeing the applications, when we were seeing the statuses of those streams, we saw that Canada also put alternate format. Alternate format. We don't know what alternate format is. Maybe they have said it before on their website, so we're going to check it together to know what they mean. Though, if we, for those that have been following immigration for quite some time, you know that before they had most of the programs had both the online and the paper before they scrapped the paper applications. So we don't know if it is the paper applications they are referring to, you understand, or if it is a different type of application that they are going to be collecting, maybe a kind of hybrid hybrid application. We are not sure of that. But let's see what exactly they mean by, you understand, alternate format. Let's see, because that's the one that is really open. The online portal is no longer open, and many people, as I've said, they were looking towards applying through the what, through the online format. Some people got opportunities to apply, some didn't get, you understand, and even those that even started the application, if they were not fast with, you understand, applying swiftly, they were not allowed to what, they were not allowed to finish the application, because a lot of people went online. A lot of people applied as soon as it started from 10 a.m. For those that were following, you know that they said as at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, they were going to get started with the what? They are going to get started with the applications, with receiving applications. And as at then, you understand, as at that 10, a lot of people, I think around about 10 p.m. or before even 10 p.m., we have been saying that they were saying some portals were already closed. You understand? We were following the news and we were saying that yes, a lot of people were not given opportunities to even finish the application they started it if they didn't, you understand, apply swiftly. Now, if you look at what they said in how to apply, especially on the website of Canada, they said workers in Canada stream. They said it is open for this intake year. Which intake year are they referring to? They are referring to the intake year of March 30, 2026. So what they mean basically, for this set of people that would be given opportunities to apply, you understand, what it means is that you cannot apply for the program this year again until what, next year, for those that are inside, workers inside of Canada. Now let's look at what they mean. What they, okay, now they have even given us a very good statistics we can actually refer to. They said the immigrant to through the home care worker immigration pilot. They said we will accept the following number of applications. Home care worker immigration pilot HCWIP. For child care, the category for workers in Canada, they were going to accept 2,350 for online application. And that online application is filled up now. It's filled up. Like 2,350 people have applied already. So they are not accepting any other application this year for that. Now, out of status and unauthorized workers, for the online application, they were to accept 125, you understand, 125 applications. And yes, that has already been filled up as well. But for the alternate format, for workers in Canada, 260, that one is still open. For out of status and unauthorized workers, for alternate format, 15, you understand, people are still going to be selected for that. We're still expecting that one to play out, that one will play out. Now, for the home support, which is another stream under the home care worker immigration pilot, HCWIP, workers in Canada, just like the first one, 2,350 for the online applications for workers in Canada is already full. There are no more slots available for that already. Likewise, for the out of status and unauthorized workers of 125 slots, that is also filled up already. 125 people have applied, and there are no more opportunities for people to apply again afresh. But for the alternate format, for workers in Canada, 260, just like the childcare, and the out of status and unauthorized workers is 15 slots, just like the what, that of the childcare. If we look at that, it means like 275 people for each of those streams, for both the childcare and also the home support worker, 275 for each will be accepted for the alternate format. Now the question is, what are the alternate formats? What exactly are the alternate formats? Meanwhile, they said applicants not working in Canada stream, that one is closed for now. And they said the number of applications available for this stream will be what is going to be shared at a later date. They are not going to share it right now. Now, what they are telling us, number one, for those that want to actually apply, say number one, get ready. How will you get ready? Follow the steps below to get your account your forms, your documents, and your fees ready. They said if the cap is reached for the stream you want to apply under, you can still prepare before the cap resets on March 31st, 2026. So what they mean that for those who were not able to apply, for those who maybe you started applying, you were not able to finish because the quota was met, you didn't even start applying and you just woke up today that this slot is available, this stream is available, I want to apply. You may not be able to, you will not even you will not be able to apply again online. Do you understand? And you would have to wait till what, March 30th or 31st, 2026. So what that means is this year you have missed it. For workers in Canada, you have missed that opportunity to apply. You understand? Now they said number 2, create an account or sign in. For those who are able to apply, they said you must apply online using the word permanent residence portal. So, and you click on the apply using the PR portal. For those that were able to apply yesterday, those were those that would have the opportunity to start. Now they said if you can't apply online and need accommodations, they said if you or your representative can't apply online and need accommodations, including for a disability, you may ask for an alternate format. Now this is very important. You may ask for an alternate format. That means for those who had disabilities to apply, like they are part of workers with disabilities, or for those who had a genuine need that, I couldn't do it online because of one issue or the other, you understand, they could accommodate you to apply through the alternate format. You understand? And said after we review your request, they will review the request to be sure that, okay, yes, you truly need it. It's not everybody they will give the opportunity to use the alternate format. They said after they review your request, after IRCC reviews your request, they will send you, IRCC will send you the application package in one of these formats. Now, the application package, they have told us in details now, will be in 3 formats. You can either apply through paper, you can either apply through braille, or you can apply through large print. You understand? For different sets of people, maybe for those that are blind, for those that don't understand, they cannot do things online because maybe they have PTSD or things like that. You understand? There are different formats, either through paper, braille, or large print. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that some people will still be allowed to apply through this alternate format for some time before it closes up. Now, how do you request another format? They say you have to open a new email, you have to open a fresh email, and in the subject line of your email, you have to include the format you need, whether paper, braille, or large print. You have to talk about which pilot you are applying for. You understand? Whether if it is HCWIP childcare or HCWIP home support. And you have to tell them which stream are you applying for. Is it workers in Canada stream? Is it out of status and unauthorized workers stream? Or is it applicants not working in Canada stream? Now, they said in the body of your email, you have to include your full name as shown on your passport, a statement explaining that you are asking for an alternate format, whether you want the application to be in English or French, how IRCC should send the format to you, whether be it through your email or through your regular mail. You have to include your email address if you want IRCC to send it electronically, so you can print it yourself, and this will save you the time it will take for you to mail it back to IRCC. You have to also include your mailing address if you want it to be mailed to you, and you have to, of course, send your email to ircc.prportal alt request demande alt portail rp.ircc@cic.gc.ca. This is the only time I have seen myself that IRCC has an email that you have to send things to. It's quite special for those that are applying for caregiver. Now, they said we will only reply to requests for alternate formats. It is only so if you are going to be telling them, please help me open the online portal. Please, I was not able to submit one document. I want to submit it. They said we won't reply to any other emails. They won't reply. So don't go and be saying cock and bull story on the email. They said after we get your request, they will reply with instructions and tell you where to send your application. Now, how to submit your application? They said You have to fill out and sign any paper forms that they send to you, and you have to return the application either by mail or by courier to the mailing address provided in their instructions. And you have to make sure that you mail your application to the correct address, because they won't accept it if it is mailed to the wrong address and will return it to you. You understand? So you must request an alternate format before the cap for your pilot and stream has been reached. Now look at that. They say after the cap has been reached, we won't accept any request and we will return any applications we receive. So they will return it back to you if you didn't do it as quickly as possible. So for more information about applying with an alternate format, you can call +1 888 242 2100, and this is for only from within Canada. You understand? From within Canada. And they said if you are getting help with your application from someone else, you can ask that person, that someone, to help you with your immigration application. There are specific requirements depending on what kind of help what you are getting, whether you are using a paid immigration representative, or you are using an unpaid person, maybe like a family member, your friends, or anyone that don't charge for a fee. And if you are getting it from someone who uses a representative, you have to actually follow some guidelines. And they said the third step is for you to choose the category you want to apply for. We have said that before. Once you are on the portal, you have to choose the economic program. When asked which program you want to apply for, then you have to choose the right pilot and subcategory. So you will see the average or the available subcategories as long as the cap hasn't been met. You will see workers in Canada childcare, workers in Canada home support. You will see for out of status and unauthorized workers, you are going to see childcare workers in Canada public policy, home support workers in Canada public policy. Now, for applicants not working in Canada, they have told you already that one will open at a later date. They are not accepting application for that. They are now wanting choose the right category. Make sure you choose the right category. If you choose the wrong category, we may return or refuse your application. And they are telling you if the cap has been met when you want to apply, you won't be able to even start an application for this category. If you started an application before we reached the cap, you won't be able to submit it. It will expire after approximately 30 days. But the truth about it is 30 days, but when people are vexed, it didn't take up to 1 day before the slots finished up, before the applications were filled up. So it shows you how many people are in need of this category. And that's why I was saying it before, that many people are focusing on this caregiver program, but not everybody will be given the opportunity to get to apply through the caregiver program, because it is a temporary program. I was mentioning it before. It is a temporary program. It is not here to stay. It is here to just few people. And as you saw, less than 3,000 people were the people that they picked for this first slot per stream. That's to tell you, they can't pick everybody. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people want to come into Canada. Even those that are inside of Canada, tens and hundreds of thousands are wanting to stay here permanently. But it's not everybody they will pick through these temporary programs. And that's why I always tell people, I suggest to you, work on permanent programs that are here to stay. There are some programs that would always be accepting people. There are some programs that are always open. This one now, they have said that it is already full for online application. And if your request, you go and request alternate format, and they don't see the reason you give as genuine, they will not be giving you any alternate format. Because again, it is not a program, it's not a full-fledged program yet, it's just a pilot program, a temporary program. So as a temporary pilot, it has its limitations. Other permanent programs like Express Entry, like PMPs, like the Skilled Worker Program, these ones have been for years, some even up to a decade, and they would continue almost every month, every 2 weeks. Sometimes they are always picking people, even every week for some programs, they are always picking people. So if you were trying to get into Canada through this caregiver program, for those that are workers in Canada, even for those that are not workers in Canada, yes, you are not a worker in Canada and you are waiting for when they will tell you that, okay, yes, so if you don't especially even have a job offer yet, you don't have the qualifications, the requirements yet, I would really suggest to you that try to look into other permanent programs that are here to stay. Do you understand? Try to look into, for those that were able to apply, they said yes, look, the fourth step was for you to get your forms and documents ready. You understand? And they gave us a lot of documents and forms you need to. Number five was for you to pay your application fee from $1,525. You understand, depending on your processing fees, your right of permanent residency fee, your biometrics fee, and even your other fees like the medical exam, the police clearance certificate, the educational credential assessment, language test, and you understand. They said your employer can't charge you recruitment fees, so the employer that you got shouldn't actually collect money from you. You understand, to give you a job offer, because that would be considered as illegal. Illegal. They mustn't charge you to actually get to give you a job. And of course, after paying you are done paying your money, you have to submit your completed what? Your completed application, and you have to make sure that you answered all the questions, signed if that applied to you, and upload all the forms, upload the receipt for your fees, and upload all your supporting documents. Now they said if your application is incomplete, IRCC will reject it. You will have to fix any errors and then resubmit as long as the cap hasn't already been reached. So if you were part of people that just rush, that okay, let me just apply. Once I apply, if they not need anything, they reach out to me. Yeah, so that is if the cap has not been met. If the cap has been reached and they send back your application, you will not be able to reapply, you will not be able to resubmit. You understand? They said if you don't request a refund or use your fees for another immigration program, you may be able to use the same receipt when resubmitting your application. Before doing this, make sure what your fees are complete and have not changed since you applied. Once you submit your application, we may ask you to tell your employer to send all supporting documents related to your job offer. Do you understand? Now they said after you have applied, let's assume that you are part of those that successfully applied. They said firstly you have to keep your information up to date. That's very important. You have to upload your contact information or tell IRCC about any changes to your family situation. Maybe you give birth to a new child, or for example, you got married, or you got divorced, or God forbid, there was a death in the family, someone died. You have to update your information, your personal information with IRCC, and the link is there for you to update your personal information. Now, you have to also get your fingerprints and your photo biometrics taken. If you are within the ages of 14 and 79 years of age, you understand, you need your fingerprints and photos. And this is true even if you gave your biometrics in the past and they are still valid. Even if they are still valid, they will mail you instructions after you have paid for your biometrics fee and submitted the complete application. And this can take up to several weeks. You have 30 days from the day on the letter to get your biometrics done. And all the appointments are in person at the collection sites all across, you understand, all across Canada. We have different collection sites, in a lot of places where you can actually get your biometrics done in Canada. And you have to book your medical examination. That is very important. They told you also as well that you and your family, whether your partner or your child or your spouse as well, must have your medical exam before you actually come into Canada. And of course, they will email you on how to get it done. You understand? They said they won't accept applications if your health is a danger to Canada's public health or safety. So what they are trying to tell you is that even if you meet all the requirements, yes, you have your job, you have your language, you have your, you understand, education, you have your experience. If your health poses a threat to Canada's public safety and health, then they may reject your application. They won't accept it. If you would cause too much of a great demand on the health and social services in Canada, maybe you have some fatal illnesses that requires a lot of money to be spent, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. We have the threshold of how much Canada is willing to spend. And if it is above that, then of course you will not be given that opportunity to, like, that's what they call inadmissibility, medical inadmissibility. Do you understand? You will become inadmissible to actually come into Canada or to get what they know as the confirmation of permanent residency. You will not be able to you will not be able to get it, you understand, from IRCC, because they will see you as someone that you would spend a lot of taxpayers' money in Canada, and they will not give you the opportunity to come into Canada. You understand? They will not give you that opportunity to, you understand, become a permanent resident of Canada, because you are going to be like a burden, basically. You will be a burden to Canada immigration, and that will not allow them to what? That will not allow them to successfully land you as a permanent resident. Now they said they will process your application. Once you submit your application in the portal, you will receive an automatic email confirming that they have received your application, and an immigration officer will make sure that yes, you filled out the right forms, you signed in your forms correctly, you paid your fees, you included all relevant and required documents, you understand, document checklist. They would also send you an acknowledgement of receipt with your file number stating that yes, they saw the receipt of the money that you paid. You understand? They reviewed your eligibility and your admissibility requirements. If it is incomplete, if your application is incomplete, they won't submit, or they won't process it rather, and they will send it back to you. You understand? So, and of course, you can always check your application status. There is always a tracker, the IRCC tracker. If you have submitted your application already and you want to follow up with your application, the application status tracker is available for caregivers. You understand? This is a new thing they actually introduced when we were coming into Canada in the year 2023. You understand? So the tracker will let you check the status of your some certain immigration applications. And yes, this new caregiver program is but thank God is part of it. So you'll be able to check it and see that, oh, am I eligible? Okay, which level are Canada immigration currently on my own application? Am I like which stage are they currently in? Is it a stage that yes, I can be rest assured that um they are basically what going to process it further, or is it that I need to submit some additional documentations either by myself or through my employer? They would put all those information on the what, on the tracker, the application tracker, status tracker, so you'll be able to see, for instance, what they are doing. And they said while you wait for a decision, if you are currently in Canada, you can stay in Canada, and this is what we call like the implied status, or you understand, the one that would allow you the maintained status, to maintain your status. It said if you stay in Canada while you wait for your permanent residence, as long as you maintain your temporary residence status, you can stay in Canada legally. And your temporary residence status is valid for a specific period of time, so make sure to keep it up to date while you are waiting. So basically, if your work permit is about to expire, you can also renew your work permit, you understand, or if it is not yet expired, you can wait and just continue using your work permit, you understand, to apply. They are now telling you, if they approve your application, if IRCC approve your application, the next thing is for you to pay your right of permanent residency fee, if you have not yet, you understand, already done so, so that they can finalize your application when you pay it. Now, if you have paid it already, then they will just issue you, you understand, they will issue you your confirmation of permanent residence. Now they said if they refuse your application, they will send you a letter to tell you why they refused it, and to be reconsidered, you have to submit a new application, meet the eligibility criteria, and you have to be found to be admissible to what? You have to be found to be admissible to Canada for the new caregiver application you applied to. Oh, okay. Nana Zula is asking, I had a baby here. Do I have to update my personal information with IRCC? Absolutely, absolutely. That is very crucial. You have to now let me explain. When it like what they said on IRCC's portal that we just read now, they said when you sent in an application, maybe for instance, let's give an hypothetical condition based on what you stated now. You sent in your application when yes, you were married, or you were in a conjugal relationship, like, or with a common law partner, you understand, and that time it was just both of you, or maybe in a scenario where it was two of you and two of your children that you came with from Ghana, for instance. And when you now landed in Canada, your child was opportuned to become or to take part in what we know as birth tourism, or it depends on your status in Canada, if you were a tourist or you're a worker or a student. But basically, your child was given birth to in Canada, and the child became a citizen of Canada by virtue of birth. Then if you have a new application with IRCC that you have submitted where you indicated that it is only you and your spouse, or only you, your spouse, and 2 children, or you even came alone but you have been impregnated before you landed, then you have to actually inform them of your changes to your eligibility, because now they will have to add up that child, that baby, to your. Now, okay, look at this. Some people always say, oh, the child is already a citizen. Yes, the child is already a citizen. We know that the child doesn't need you to the child doesn't need to become a permanent resident again, or to become a temporary resident again, or but to clear any doubt and to make sure that they know that you already have someone that is dependent on you, a dependent. Do you understand? Because there's a difference between that person needing a status. Your child, of course, is already a citizen, does not need a status again. But you have to inform them that you already have an extra dependent. You understand? One more person that depends on you. So it is not just, okay, thank you. You said I came in with 3 kids. Oh, wow, you have a big family. That's good. Congratulations. But I had a child, a baby here. Inform IRS. It's very simple. You can go on your web form. You can submit a web. That is if it is not this application we are talking about. Because if you go on the portal of IRCC where they stated the application, there's a place where you can update the application. But if it is just an application you have done before, you understand, you have just send a web form, go on the immigration portal and inform them that your status has changed. What's changed in your status? Your family status. Which family status? You gave birth to a child in Canada. Just let them be informed so that it's not going to come in the future and bite you. Okay, now they said if you want to withdraw your application, you can submit a web form. Oh, okay, this one is withdraw application. It's not change status. But of course, they are saying if you want to withdraw your application, you can submit a web form to withdraw or cancel your application. You might get some fees, some of the fees you paid refunded, depending on whether we have started processing. IRCC made a mistake deal. We have started processing it or not. Oh, okay. So again, and Azula is asking, I just submitted a PGWP without including him since he does not need a status. Now, I think we have explained that already. People feel yes, he doesn't need it, but IRCC stated it. They did not say submit or inform us of when your status changed, if your child needs a status, or if the person you want to inform them needs a status. They never mentioned that on their website. They just said if your status changed. And what do they mean by if your status changed? What they mean is you got married, you got divorced, you gave birth to a child, someone died in your family. You understand? They are not bothered about if that person needs a status or not. They just give you the reasons why you should inform them. So if he doesn't need a status, congratulations, but inform IRCC of your dependent, because they need to know. Now, why do they need to know your dependency status? Because now you have another child. Okay, you said you had 3 children before. Now a 4th child has come in. If it is an application, hypothetically, I'm not saying that's the only reason, but if it is an application that needs you to update your that needs you to update your proof of funds. Oh, you show the proof of funds whereby it was only you and your spouse and 3 children. Those were 5 people in the family. But now you have added another new child. 6 people now. Even if your child is a citizen of Canada, that does not mean that it is Canada that is going to be paying all the money of the child. Do you understand? You still need to feed the child. You still need to take care of the child. Even though, yes, the child will get medical benefits, the child will get, you understand, social, you are entitled to, you understand, this CRE, Canada Revenue Agency benefits for the child. But it is not the child, it's not the government that will pay for everything. You understand? So proof of funds is one scenario IRCC needs to use to need to know your dependency status, to know that, oh, are you still qualified? Now, PGWP may not necessarily need proof of, that's why I said it may not be the only reason. It may not necessarily need you to show proof of funds. But again, their Canada, see, something about Canada that I know very well is that you may think it's not necessary, but they will feel it is necessary, and that may be the single thing that they will now say they will use to deny your application because you were not transparent. Because there's something they call misrepresentation. Misrepresentation may include you not deliberately including something that would affect the status or the condition of granting you or rejecting you a status or an application. You understand? So it doesn't do you any. A normal web form, it's not that you're paying for it. It's free. It's free to send. You understand? So you sending it will show that you are being transparent enough to inform them of the status changes. And that's one of the reasons many people, there was one scenario we were talking about in one of our live sessions where we talked about Indian students coming into Canada, even though it may not be perfectly aligning to this kind of condition. But many Indian students that time, especially when they were working with one quack agent, and that one got them in with a fake. That was even the first offense. It got them in with a fake. I think it was all over the years, about 700 or 7,000 of students were affected by that. He brought people in with a fake admission letter, and he now said they should change status. Yes, the first one was fake, but the second one that they said they should change school was a legit admission document. But because of the fact that many students didn't inform IRCC that they were changing schools, it affected them. Coupled with the fact that it was even fake admission they used to enter initially, it affected them. You understand? There were some people too that, okay, that one was even Indians. I know of a Nigerian too, you understand, that came into Canada and just switched school because he couldn't pay the tuition fee of the first school that came into Kenya. And at the end of the day, God saved him that he left of his own volition. He left Canada of his own, unless they could have deported him because, you understand, he was not transparent enough to inform IRCC that yes, he has changed school. Yes, even the school that he changed to, he didn't even go to classes. And yes, so basically, what am I trying to say in essence is inform them because they have put it on their website. What they put on their website, and when they now say you may or you must, they didn't say you may inform, they say you must. So the wording has told you what they need. If you now say, oh, because it's not the status, it doesn't need the status, and you don't give them, they can actually use that as a basis to it. Because let's be frank, a lot of people need PGWP, a lot of people need permanent resident status, a lot of people. So when they see that some people click all the boxes, but you are thinking for them, they may reject you, God forbid, you understand, and accept those that don't have. So avoid it, basically. Avoid any stories that touch, you understand, and by avoiding it, make sure you do all what is required by law. Now, immigrate. Okay, we're talking about after you apply. You know, initially we talked about how to apply for those that were applying for caregiver program. After you apply for those that you understand. Okay, Nanazula, okay, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you too for joining. Now, they said once we have approved the application, once IRCC have approved the application, you can start processing the settlement or the process of settling permanently in Canada. And your next steps will depend on where you are in the world. So if you are outside Canada, then you need to prepare to live in Canada by using pre-arrival services or reading publications for newcomers. You need to arrive at the border. After you have arrived, you need to get your permanent resident card. You have to make sure they have your mailing address, get the settlement support you need. You understand, protect yourself from fraud and all those issues. But let's assume you are in Canada, you would get help for new immigrants, help for settling as a newcomer in Canada. You understand, help for getting a job, for language assessment or training, for helping signing up your kids for school, help in connecting with others in your community. You understand, and you would also confirm your permanent resident status. You understand, and how will you confirm it? They will ask you to respond to some basic information, IRCC, and they will also let you know when you are ready to confirm your permanent resident status when you are inside of Canada. And basically, you are going to do what we know as virtual landing because you are already in Canada. So you will get your permanent resident card emailed or mailed to you rather. You get it mailed to you with your as your new identification document. You understand, and you would apply for your social insurance number, and with that social insurance number, the new one, you understand, when you were in Canada as a temporary resident, there was a social number you were using before, social insurance number. The new one that is meant for permanent residents, you are going to get that, you understand, issued to you. So that's everything when it comes to you applying for caregiver program. For those that applied for caregiver program, congratulations. For those that were able to finish the application, because not everybody were able to finish the application, congratulations to you. For those that are still waiting on the stream or on the one that says applicant not working in Canada, that one is closed for now and it's going to open at a later date. Well, welcome or well done. Keep waiting. We are still open, even though we saw one memos, one kind of um update. I don't know. It was like a document where IRCC was stating that applicants not working in Canada, they may have to wait up until 2027. It was so funny when I saw it, but I choose not to fully believe it now, even though I know it can happen. But I choose not to fully believe it that applicants not working in Canada, you understand, for the caregiver, for the new caregiver program, may have to wait up until what, March 2027 before they are given the opportunity to apply. As I said, I choose not to believe it fully, but it was said, it was written, not even said, it was written. So I know most of the things that are written, especially when it comes to planning and policies, it may most likely be some what is going to happen because they have stated it. But again, I still kind of am being positive that some things may happen this year, especially when the elections, you understand, are coordinated. The new prime minister, not just the acting one, and you understand the new immigration minister, not just the one that is there present. Like when they basically shuffle the cabinet and work on the new politicians that will be leading the country, I hope and pray that they are going to revisit some of these policies and planning, and they are going to actually allow applicants not working in Canada. You understand? So that because if we look at the 2027 we mentioned, that is 2 years down the line. And people that still want to come in through this pilot program, I don't think they would be so happy to know that they will not be able to apply from outside of Canada for the caregiver program up until 2 years time. So what I'm trying to say in essence is those that want to still come into Canada but are outside of Canada, Canada are still inviting people. They are still helping. In fact, the new education category for express entry, we talked about it in our last webinar where I was saying many people should look into that caregiver that category now, because that is going to be a category I'm even expecting, by God's grace, from this week onwards. We are kind of targeting, we are kind of looking towards people that will get selected. In fact, many of our clients, especially those that have, just like I used in our last what do you call it, in our last live session, those that have NYC experience, the National Youth Service Corps experience from Nigeria, you understand, that worked as educators, that worked as teachers, as teacher assistants, you understand, they may be eligible, you understand, to apply for this pathway. And of course, we have been having people that have been asking us, that have been reaching out to us, and you understand, if you want us to also support you and link up, you go up to our immigration consultant and lawyer, you understand, you can also reach out to us through our email admin@aosacademy.com, and we can also help you to become much more eligible, you understand, much more eligible for that program, because that what they call it now, that category is going to be a category that a lot of people are going to be able to apply to. But I believe that the first set of people that, you understand, key into that program are the ones that are going to benefit mostly, because I believe the cutoff of that program is going to be, you understand, it's going to be not that cumbersome. The CRS point, you understand, the CRS point that is going to be required for that program, at least to begin the program, to start up the program, I believe it is not going to be as much as that of what, that of the other categories. So my best advice for you now, if you are someone that wants to actually come into Canada and you still want to come in as a permanent resident and follow through the permanent what, the permanent programs, the programs that are here to stay, then my best advice, my best suggestion is for you to what, for you to focus on this kind of what, this kind of new what they call it, new what they call it now, this kind of new categories, because these categories are going to be categories a lot of people will benefit from, those that are fast and that are swift to understanding how immigration is changing now and adapting to what adapting to what immigration needs right now. So, and I hope a lot of you would have the opportunity to get selected through this pathway, through this new category. There are other categories, because yes, I talked about education, and another live session that I'm going to do, I'm going to come and talk about the expanded healthcare and social services category. That's another category that a lot of people can key into, especially if you fall into any of those occupations. But the reason why I mentioned the NYSC and the education related category is because I know many Nigerians, you understand, whether by force or by will, you were mandated to actually teach in the NYSC. You were mandated to teach in your NYSC placement, even if it was not your calling. You understand? And some of you had to assist, even though you were not teaching. Some of you had to assist teachers. You understand? So basically, you have the experience already to actually become eligible for the education category. So if this caregiver is no longer working, just like we have read now that the online applications are closed, you understand? So if that is not a viable option for you to use to come into Canada, there are still other viable options. The education category is one of it. You understand? The expanded healthcare and social services category is one of it under the express entry. If you don't even want to go through the express entry, oh, express entry is too competitive. Express entry, I don't know, I may not get selected. It is this, it is that. The provincial nominee programs, the PNPs, are other ways you can use to come into Canada legally to become the same permanent resident people are struggling to get or to become under the, you understand, the caregiver pilots. And the difference or the benefit of these permanent programs is that many of the PNPs don't require you to actually get what, a job offer, as the caregiver programs require you to get a job offer. For those that know my story, you know that I, for instance, I got selected through the Ontario French speaker stream. You understand? This French speaking skilled worker stream. You understand? And that program was under the PNP of Ontario, under the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. And I got selected with it. And I'm still a permanent resident, just like the caregivers that are going to be coming into Canada this year would actually become caregivers. I didn't need to get a job. You understand? All I just needed was to actually meet the criteria. And what were the criteria? What were the eligibility criteria as at then? It was similar to that of the express entry, if not the same. I needed to actually do my educational credential assessment, and I did mine through World Education Services for my bachelor's of arts and linguistics. I also had experience. You understand? The initial experience I used that didn't get me selected was a language teacher experience, up until I changed it to tech under web development and designing. I had, you understand, a side experience or side also experience for. Thirdly, I also was able to actually make use of my English language proficiency through the IELTS test result that I actually got after like 3 attempts, you understand, after about 5 years. before the third one got expired. Also, I had to make use of my French language proficiency, and that is where these two ones we mentioned, the English and the French language proficiency, is where we come in to actually assist permanent resident applicants or candidates. If you want us to actually prepare you for IELTS, for TEF Canada, for TCF Canada, for even the other English exams like CELPIP, like PT, like PTE core exam, we can always, of course, assist you in that. So you can just visit our online school, the online school where we actually train people for the examinations. We can train you, and we can also help to teach you the French language. We can help you to become much more eligible, basically, you understand, for these permanent programs, because these permanent programs, as I've said, they are here to stay. You understand, they are here to stay, and you can actually still benefit from it because they are still picking people. Okay, so they are asking, what of the cutoff score then? What do you mean by the cutoff score? I don't really understand that. Which cutoff score for which program are you referring to? For which um pathway are you referring to? You understand? I talked about the express entry. I talked about the caregiver program, the caregiver pilot. I also talked about the um PMPs. The PMPs are the ones we are mentioning right now. So PMPs are you which PMPs are you mentioning? You understand? So if you want us to train you, you can visit our website aosacademy.com, as we have actually added it on this, what do you call it now? Oh, okay. Someone is asking, Ade is asking, are you an agency, please? Well, A.O.S Abroad is a language school. We are a language school registered with Ontario Business Registry, and we also have partnered with consultants, immigration consultants. You understand, like SC Immigration. We have also partnered with a law firm, um, which is also what do you call it? Right Legal Services, and these are people that can actually help you. They can help you with any immigration related requirements or things that you need. So you can also visit our website, and from our website we would also help to actually what will help to assist you with any of those queries you need assistance with, whether you need to work with your immigration or you need us to work with your language preparation training. We can assist with all those. Just reach out to us, visit our website. You understand? For those that want to learn about permanent residence, if you want to learn about permanent residence, we have a dedicated website for that. So if you go on our website, aos.name.ng, or just go on our profile. If you go on our profile, you understand, whether on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, when you go on our profile and click on the link there, you'll be taken to our website where we educate people about permanent residency in details. You understand? Now, okay, you said education. That's Nanazula. Education. What do you mean by education? Okay, let me go back. You said, what of the cutoff score of education? Oh, okay. Cutoff score of education is not known. Right now, we don't know the cutoff score of education because they have not done any draws. No draws have been done yet for education category. It was just added last month. You understand? It was added last month to the category-based draws of express entry. You understand? So we are still expecting, and our best bet is that they should be able to start selecting people under the education category from this month. We are not sure, but we are just kind of guessing. We are kind of guessing that we should expect them to select the new or the first set of education professionals as soon as possible. So don't wait, basically. That's our message here. Don't wait until when they start and when you see that, oh, because why are we saying this? If you look at the French draws that were done earlier, for the French draws, the last draw they did, they picked people with 379 CRS points. And that was like the lowest we have seen for this year. The lowest we have seen for this year that they actually selected from January to date, because of course, and some of our clients also got opportunities of getting selected, you understand, through that pathway. So don't wait until when, oh, it is now that they are picking education. We have seen that, oh, maybe they picked maybe like 380 or 390 or 400. You understand? Don't wait until then, because when people see something about IRCC, especially express entry pool, that we have noticed is that when people see that, oh, the cutoff was small, it was very low for this one that they did, that is when a lot of people will now be focusing on that category or focusing on that, you understand, program. So rather, you be part of the first people that will benefit from the low CRS cutoffs. But you cannot know for a fact how low it will be to start. It is when they select or when they run a draw, that is when you will see that, oh, so it is always like a post, what do you call it? A post information kind of thing. It is when they have done it, you are not going to see it. So don't wait until when they have done it. Rather, prepare and just be waiting. You prepare yourself and just be waiting that, oh, okay, let's see if I'll be part of those that they will select under education. Let's see if I will be part of those, especially when you have the experience. It costs you nothing. The experience, they just say you need to have 6 months of experience. And some people, just like the NYSC core members that were in Nigeria, I remember when I did my own NYSC core in my own service, I had 1 year plus of experience working for a secondary school, what they call it, a Muslim grammar school, community grammar school. You understand? So that one alone, let's say it was that time they chose education, or it was when I was working towards permanent residence, they said they would have education. I might have actually got selected through that, because of course I had the proofs to show my experience from the government, from the school I worked with. They paid me. It was a paid experience. It was not like a volunteerism or something. I got paid for my service. In fact, I got paid twice, or in 2 ways. I got paid from the federal government through monthly allowances. I also got paid from the school through their stipends that they were giving core members that were posted to their school. And we even were able to get some benefits as well to actually school to work in that school. You understand, some benefits when it came to students actually taking their junior WAEC, which was known as the Junior Secondary School West African Examination. You understand? So that time it was a what they call it, an experience, a work experience that was very much solid. You understand? It was solid, and that's why we're advising people. You understand? Suggesting for people under the last what do you call it, live session that we did, that using your NYSC experience could really help you to immigrate to Canada through the education category right now, for those that want to actually be part of it. Okay. All side men freaks at A.O.S Abroad. I saw that you tagged us. May I know why you tagged us? Do you have any questions you would like to ask? Oh, okay, you shared the live. Thank you very much, all side men freak. So for those, of course, that are also on this platform, on TikTok, on Instagram, you understand, on YouTube, you can also share as well. Share just like Outside Men Freaks also shared. You can share the live to other people that want to actually learn about this, that would benefit from this. You can put it on your status, to your WhatsApp status. You can put it on your Telegram. You can put it on your, you understand, TikTok or to Telegram. Telegram to our status. You can put it on your TikTok, you can put it on your Instagram and your YouTube. So, all right, thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. Please, do you have any questions before we call it a day? If you have any questions, drop it on the comment section. We are close to 1 hour right now on the live session, so we would like to call it a day. If you have any questions, drop it on the comment section. I'll do justice to responding to it. Okay, month thrift said I have. Okay, please ask your questions right now. We are counting our time. We have about 15 seconds to go to 1 hour. So let us know, what questions do you have? Please ask your question. You can join the live if you want to ask it orally, or you can post it as a comment if you want us to read it and respond to it. Okay, Ade is asking, you mean people that have finished studying in Nigeria can come to Canada with it? Of course, of course. You can come to at least I finished in Nigeria as at 2016. I did my service in 2017. I started my business in 2018. It was from 2018 I started working on my immigration. You understand? So from 2018 I started, though I was not opportune to come into Canada up until the year 2023. So of course, anybody, in fact, in the last live session, I was talking about the fact that some people don't even need to wait to finish NYC before, because we have seen people do it before. You don't need to wait to finish NYC. If you have at least 6 months of experience already with NYC, you can apply for permanent residence through the new education card if you schooled, of course, or if you were part of those that were teaching in schools, or you were supporting a teacher in school, you were assisting a teacher, you were instructing people that were with disabilities, or you were an educator. You can, in some elementary schools, you can, of course, apply. Without continuing schooling in Nigeria, well, for me, I didn't continue schooling in Nigeria because I was meant to apply for masters. I didn't continue schooling in Nigeria because, well, I didn't really need it. In fact, I signed up for a master's in the UK online, you understand? But even to today, so I've not finished the masters. You understand? Because at the end of the day, I wanted to come into Canada. I was not waiting. I was not willing to wait to actually finish any school or to complete any schooling in Nigeria. So if you want, you can. If you want, nobody will force you to say you want to come without finishing. So there are some people there are some of my mates that no, they say no, I want to finish in Nigeria. No problem. It's your desire. Anything you want, you can do. Me, I didn't want to finish. Me, I wanted to come quickly. You understand? So more Thrift is asking, if you are in Canada as a student wanting to convert to PR, if you are in Canada as a student and wanting to convert to PR, I don't know, is it a question? I'm trying to get the idea of what you are trying to pass across. But of course, if you want to know about how to actually convert, even though there's nothing as you can't really convert, what you can do is to apply. You understand? They don't convert student or study permit, they don't convert it to PR. You is a separate application on its own. You understand? You apply for what? You apply for permanent residency in Canada separately. Do you understand? You apply for it separately once you become eligible and you have all the, you understand, you have all the requirements. So just I've sent our website. You can visit our website, aos.name.ng/pr. You understand? We have the guidelines. There's a webinar we have done that explains all the processes you need to do. You understand? To okay, Montrift said accept my request. I don't know. Your request is not showing here. It's not showing here. I don't know what is happening. You said the question is long. I have someone who finished diploma in Nigeria. No problem. So I will connect the person with you, please. Of course. Thank you very much, Ali. Really appreciate that. Montrift, I wanted to say apply. Okay. So if you want to apply, how do you know how to apply? The very easy thing is go on our website where we talked about aos.name.ng/pr, and you can be able to get educated on how to apply. You understand, either yourself or through using another person. And you came in as a married person. I didn't come in as a married person. You understand? I didn't come in as a married person. I came in as a common law partner of someone else. There's difference between someone that is married and someone that is a common law partner. I came in through common law partnership, and common law partnership doesn't really need you to, you understand, have marriage certificate. So more on that is on our website, aos.name.ng, and you get updated. Must you reapply for your partner as well? I didn't reapply for my partner. We applied together as a family. We applied together. Well, I'll not call it a family, but you understand, as partners, basically. We applied together as partners, and that was enough. That was enough for us to actually use to come into Canada as common law partners. You understand? So if you want to learn more about how to do it, we also explained that idea. You understand? We explained that idea on our website, aos.name.ng. You understand? So you can go on that website, and once you go on the website, aos.name.ng/pr, you'll be able to get more enlightened on how to do it. So for your PR to be successful, before you apply, how much must the person have? Well, all these are very relative. They are very relative. It depends on you, or it depends on your family composition. You understand? I, for instance, as I do always tell people, I spent 6.7 million naira. You understand? As at then 2023 to actually come into Canada as a permanent resident. But again, it depends on the stage you are. Every person is not the same. Every person may not spend up to that, or you may even spend more than that. So it depends on what? It depends on I would advise you more thrift. You can actually book a consultation, because we have to go now. We have spent over 1 hour. You understand? I'll send you the link. You can book a or you can reach out to us on because it seems you have a lot of questions. You can book a consultation with us, and from that consultation we'll be able to answer you in details all the questions you have. And through that, if you even have more clarifications you want to seek, you understand, you can actually that seek all those clarifications through the link. So I'll send you the link. Is seller.co.com/talk with AOS. So just go on that link, and you'll be able to ask your questions. Okay, I booked the questions in bits. Read it together. Well, I think I've been responding to the questions. It depends. You understand? It depends. All these questions you're asking, we have to know your own particular scenario before we can be able to give you. Because not everything that works for me, for instance, may be able to work for you. Not everything that works for another person will work for you. So there are different things based on your own particular scenario. Do you understand? Your own particular. So just as I said, if you want to talk more, book the consultation session as I've said, and from there we'll be able to talk in details based on, you understand, what you need to know about your own immigration process, because your own will be different, will be definitely different from my own. Do you understand? All right, thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate. Don't forget to share, like, and you understand. Also comment even later on when we share the recap of this live session again, and don't forget to also join us later on. At least a week. We have at least one live session every week, and gracefully this week we have had two live sessions, yesterday and today. You understand? And just like it depends based on when the what they call it, the updates are coming up. As updates came right now for caregiver program, we said we should talk about the caregiver and how it got filled up within a day. So any news we get that is worth sharing would also be coming on live to talk about. So stay tuned and click on the notification bell to get updated anytime we drop, you understand, what they call it, or anytime we come on live. So thank you very much, everyone, and I do hope to see you in our next live session. Bye for now, everyone. Au revoir.